let's get into some of these college basketball games. The Marquette-Creighton game, Brett, that one has my eye. I'm going to be on Marquette here, even though they're facing off against a top 10 team with Creighton. Marquette plus 7.5. I just think this is going to be a bit of a closer game. You look at who these teams have played. Marquette's 4-2, Creighton's 4-1. The one loss that Creighton has is against a real ranked team. It was against Kansas. Whereas Marquette, they lost to UCLA, they've lost to Oklahoma State, but they also have a ranked win against Wisconsin. So I expect this game is going to be pretty close. So 7.5 is just a little too large of a spread for me. I was tempted at the money line at plus 265, but I didn't want to get greedy, so I'm just taking Marquette plus 7.5.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Marquette's a good team. That Creighton game that you mentioned was another money line magic. So, these repeat performers just making appearances all over the show today. It's really nice to see. But yeah, that was a tough free throw for Creighton. We'll see how they come back in this big game against Marquette. Marquette's a good team. I'm gonna be honest. I bet on them this weekend at UCLA. They burned me, so I'm just staying away from this one, Higgins. I don't want to get burned again.
It'll be interesting to see with this over-under as well. Both Creighton and Marquette have scored a decent amount in some of their games. Creighton's averaging 85 points per game with Marquette around 74, but both of them are only allowing points in the 60s per game. So it'll be interesting to see with that over-under. I'm staying away from that, but I could see that either being a defensive battle that keeps it in the 60s like both of their defenses have shown, or the offenses just go off and it's a 150, 160 game rather easily.
Yeah, and could be a bit of a letdown spot for Creighton. They had a big game over the weekend at home versus Nebraska, which they took care of business. So we'll see what happens there. The game I'm on Monday night in college hoops is Northern Colorado at Colorado. Colorado currently a 14.5 point favorite. That's where you can find me, Higgins. I thought Colorado looked pretty good at Tennessee, and their best player, McKinley, didn't even really play well at all. So I think he'll play much better. Colorado's looked a lot better since that game. They've won 2 in a row. And I just think they'll take care of business at home versus Northern Colorado. 14.5 isn't big enough for me. So I think this one could be closer to 20. So I'll probably even take it all the way up if it gets up to 16.5. I think it's still within play for me, Higgins.
And there's a pride thing that goes on with a battle between two state schools, so I'm sure Colorado will have a little bit of an extra oomph going into that game. A game that I was leaning on, I might take it on Monday. I'm not taking it as of Sunday night as we're recording this, though. Nevada versus San Diego. Nevada's played 6 games so far. They're 4-2. San Diego's only played one that they've lost, and it was an 83-56 loss to UCLA. But for some reason, Nevada's only favored by 3.5, which that a red flag raises in my head when I see that because I don't know a lot about the San Diego team. However, last year they only won about 7 or 8 games. So were they just young last year or were they bad?
Yeah, I mean, people thought they were going to be a pretty decent team last year. Um, maybe they were, maybe they didn't play as well as I thought they did. To be quite honest with you, but that line is a little fishy, Higgins. I don't know. I think Nevada looked disappointing against Grand Canyon over the weekend. Maybe that has something to do with this. I guess my takeaway is I have not watched enough San Diego to have any read on how they'll play. But I imagine they'll be more up playing for Nevada than Nevada will be like up to play San Diego. So that'll always play in the underdog strength there, but I really don't have a read on that one, to be honest. Nevada's okay. I expect them to win a lot of games. That doesn't mean they'll win them all by 3.5.
Yeah, they've played 6 games so far. They're 3-2 against the spread. Interesting on ESPN, they show you the spread consensus, which 52% of the money's on Nevada. They also give you the matchup predictor of how their basketball power index expects the game to go. 55.9% that San Diego wins. So that, like I said, I'm leaning Nevada. Maybe I'll be there by Monday. I'm not really sure. If I do get there on Monday, though, I will make sure to post on social media for you. So follow us at NBB Pod on Twitter, at Next Best Bet on Instagram, and the Next Best Bet Facebook page and YouTube channel as well. Brett, are there any other Monday night college basketball games that might have your attention that might not be on right now?
Not really. I mean, to be honest with you, Higgins, the two best games are Rutgers, Maryland, and Marquette Creighton. Those are the games of the night. If you're not a Monday Night Football fan, or you're not betting on that, or don't have some fantasy football playoff implications on that, watch two good college hoops games. But it's kind of a night for college basketball, to be honest.
Yeah, there's not a lot of games too, and the only two games that have been postponed or canceled so far probably were there were four games that have been postponed and canceled so far, but Villanova was one game against DePaul, and then Gonzaga against Idaho, which those are two of the bigger programs that would draw a lot of attention or a lot of bets potentially, especially in those scenarios with Gonzaga 3-0 and Idaho 0-4. That would have been an interesting line to see, but we'll never know.
Yeah, I just need Chicago State to get back on the court. I need to get more Chicago State fades in there.
I saw them. I almost faded them in their last game, but I was not able to pick them. I couldn't stomach it.
I hit it. It was Loyola Chicago, I think, was their last
Okay.
one.
Okay.